Hello and welcome to the Cause Cafe, a place where you'll learn how to effectively and successfully market your nonprofit in a digital world. Melanie and Christine are serving up fresh ideas to help you build and energize donors and volunteers.
Hi, this is Christine Bowman, and I'm here with
Melanie Masiki.
And welcome to the Cause Cafe. This is podcast number 0004. So we're just really getting started and on a roll. Yes. Every time we're together, this is what we say every time. I wish we were recording right now. Right. This is the best information ever.
We had some great conversation. We were actually going through the notes. So hopefully we touch on everything we were talking about before. And if not, we're going to put it in the show notes because we had to finally just start recording.
Yeah. Or we would have just talked all night and said, oh, well, we did 4 podcasts and didn't record a single thing.
Yeah.
So, here we are. All right. So today, as I said, episode 0004 is 10 digital marketing projections for 2018. And this is just common knowledge that we have, research, just, keeping our ear to the ground, making sure that we are knowing what's happening and then passing that information on to you so that you can use it and really make a difference for your nonprofit.
Right. And one of the things we kind of went over first, putting the research together is, do we agree with this? Do we not agree with this? So some of these we might debate or have a different opinion, but this is just the discussion that's happening in the industry that too many people are not aware of. And we want to be that resource for you to find things like this. So we are going to be talking about it now so you can get with the curve if you're behind or ahead of the curve if you're already there and start doing some research about how you can leverage some of these for your nonprofit.
Yep, very good. Mm-hmm. All right. So the number one prediction for 2018 is that YouTube is going to take up some really good lead in actual lead generation. And so they're gonna move forward in a bigger way than they have before. And YouTube is an excellent tool for lead generation. I mean, you may not have considered it before, but if you have videos up and you have your own YouTube channel, it's so easy to ask people to subscribe and to engage with them and get them involved in your story as a nonprofit. So I kind of support that as a strong prediction for 2018.
Yeah, a lot of these when we were going through them, there's been, everyone's talking about Facebook and, Facebook has made a lot of waves in the social media platform era the last couple of years, purchasing Instagram, going after YouTube, so you kind of look back and see, who's going to react, what's going to happen, who's going to die, is Snapchat going to take over everything? You never know because it's literally like a battleground, so to say. So to see, I can see YouTube hanging in there. They were really strong before Facebook came out with the video and went after them. And they've been pretty quiet. So this doesn't surprise me that they've been working on, okay, how can we be really good at one thing, almost like the Kentucky Fried Chicken method, where you do one thing really awesome and it's enough. And I see maybe that's what they have started to do.
Yeah, that's a really good insight. And just so you know as well, the Cause Cafe podcast, I mean, we do these as a video and then also the audio podcast. So you can go to the Cause Cafe YouTube channel and actually see us and know that today is a light makeup day for me. She always has
my makeup is all day makeup for me.
She always has beautiful makeup on. But anyway, hopefully it humanizes us and you'll see that we're just, kind of regular women who love digital marketing and want to share everything that we're learning with you.
Yes.
And that we've experienced.
We're real.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, so number 2, the same thing goes with LinkedIn. LinkedIn is doing something really exciting in advertising. You can now add video to your personal account. And you might say, well, how does that help me as a nonprofit? May or may not. But later in 2018, LinkedIn is actually going to give pages and businesses the ability to add video. And again, you're going to hear us probably say the word video, 80, 90 times throughout this podcast.
Get used to it.
Get used to it. Yeah, it's a really, really important tool for you. And we hope you'll be embracing it if you haven't already. So, they have 500 million monthly users on LinkedIn. It's a really excellent platform for, kind of B2B.
B2B, yeah.
Business to business. And so as a nonprofit, I mean, that's where you could go to find those partners and those sponsors for events or just, employee matching kinds of things.
Yeah, cross-promoting.
It's a great
cause marketing.
Yes. And they're all looking for something.
Yes.
And sometimes even if they've been with one organization for a number of years, I know that happened to when I was involved with TRF.org, we went after a really, really big sponsor who actually had been a sponsor with someone else for, I think, 12 years. And so a lot of people would have said, well, that's kind of crazy, but we did our job and we were able to secure them as a major partner for TRF.org. So don't discount.
Even here in Arizona, Susan G. Komen partnered with a lot of the larger companies out here. I mean, we have American Express is based here. We have GoDaddy based here. Yeah, there's a lot of big companies that are based here. And when Susan G. Komen pulled out of Arizona, that really opened the space for some of the smaller nonprofits like Impact One Breast Cancer to go in there and step up and make that partnership so that it was still here local, to giving them an opportunity they never would have had before. So if they were fostering that, which I don't know if they were, but if they were fostering that before the case through a LinkedIn type relationship staying front and center, it would have made a logical choice for them. Absolutely. Already having that visibility.
And I like that you said, front and center. That's really what you get to do with LinkedIn. You just get to be friends with, CEOs and other people, human resource directors in businesses where you really would like to partner with them. Right. So don't discount LinkedIn at all.
One of the things before you go on that I just want to jump in because we are kind of flipping through a bunch of different social platforms is do not think that the message that you put out for each of these different ones is a one size fits all because it's not. You can't just make a video on, I don't know, just some random video and then just blast it out to all these different networks. That's not creating relationships and that's not using strategy to really commit and leverage some of these. You're going to have to pick maybe only one if you only have X amount of time and just hone in on that one and do it to the best of your ability in the way that platform works. So for example, LinkedIn, if you're not familiar with the platform, get in there, start making some connections and see what other people are posting that is getting a lot of engagement. And that's going to tell you the types of content that platform likes, and then start developing your content around that. Don't think that you can do an Instagram image and put that on LinkedIn and say, well, this isn't working. Well, that's two different audiences, two different people. People are there for different reasons. So you have to respect the platform and what the user experience is designed for on that platform.
Thank you. That's
so key.
That is an excellent point. And the thing is hard is I know resources are slim.
Right.
And so Melanie's right. You may need to just based on your strategy and what you're trying to do in 2018, you may need to focus on 1, 2, or 3. You can't do them all. And
that's okay.
Yeah, it's fine. Become an expert if you have the time. If you don't, you could hire experts. But make sure that you are not just spread thin or that you are repurposing your content without any thought at all to the audience, the images, and the messaging, the content.
Right.
Okay, awesome. So number 3 in the top 10 is have you heard about Facebook Watch? You probably haven't heard about Facebook Watch. It's being beta tested right now with video creators. So people that are on Facebook that have a tendency to produce a lot of video, they're testing this. And this is kind of like Facebook's TV.
Right. Think live streaming, like all the live streaming, what is it, Hulu and Netflix and all that. Facebook is just going after that. If they can do it, can we do it better?
Yes, I totally agree with that. So the reason this is important for you, and you're like, oh yeah, they're beta testing, that's great, is because sometime in 2018, it's going to open up. So it's going to open up for pretty much anyone to have, this, to upload your native file, original file, video file to Facebook and have it be part of a tab that is Facebook Watch, where people can just go to that.
As you're saying this is something that we referenced before, and I'm pretty sure I've mentioned this in another podcast, but Facebook has spent billions of dollars at the end of 2016 investing in a video-only feed, and I'm wondering if this is what it has morphed into. It wasn't called that at the time, but I'm thinking this is what it's morphed into, and this is one of the reasons we so passionately talk about video all the time, is because whenever Facebook makes any move like this, they're going to need initial content to pull from to fill that feed.
Yes.
So this is, again, telling you this is the direction that you're going. So if you're not already, putting some video feed into this library per se, they're not going to have anything to pull for you when that goes.
And when it does go, you'll be at the top of the heap, the top of your competitors, even as far as just getting the viewership that you really want and desire, so that you can, talk to people about what it is that you do and why you do it. So that's kind of exciting. We're going to keep a close eye on that and have our own, do a lot more video ourselves, so that we can have that video up for the Cause Cafe.
And an interesting fact too, when it comes to Facebook, just so that you guys know if you're not aware, Facebook never just opens the door and launches it to everybody on anything. Everything's always a rolling. So it's a rolling. As this comes out, it will roll out based on your engagement. So if you have nothing going on, if it's crickets, then you'll probably be the last to see this.
So start working on engagement, which means, talking to the people that happen to like or comment, reply to their messages quickly and upload video.
Yeah, early adopters always get it first, which is why they're working with, if you notice when she first started talking, in the beta test, they're working with people that are already doing a lot of video content. So you can see they're rewarding the people that were already going the direction that Facebook wanted to go. Yes. It will always be that way.
Yep. Thanks. All right. Number 4, I think everyone knows this. This isn't new news. The cost of sponsored ads and ad buys across any of the social platforms is going to increase probably significantly in 2018. And as daunting as that sounds, it's actually, I see it as an opportunity. I see it as an opportunity for you, because it's going to start increasing. So this is the time, if you haven't gotten in, to get in and do some great like Facebook advertising, YouTube advertising, if that's the direction you want to go. The other platforms also, Twitter, they all have an advertising angle that you can take advantage of. And this is important because you need to develop leads now and engagement and relevancy. And if you do it now, it won't be as cost prohibitive as it will be later on. So like in 2019, 2020, they may be too pricey for small businesses and nonprofits.
Just to give you an idea. So I started going heavily into working with clients on ads about 6 months ago. At that time, when I first started, you could run ads for $1 a day and get really good results, especially if you weren't asking for a sale, which in the nonprofit industry, there would be a whole ramp up. You're not just going to go out and ask for a donation. That's just, you don't do that. Don't pay for that. Like, you're trying to get in front of people. Now, to get in front of those exact same people, if that was that same target market I'm going after, the minimum is $5 a day. And that's really tight. Like, we're even looking at that now, going how much longer, we're seeing it drop. And so the next thing, it's going to be $10 a day. So just know, if it intimidates you and you don't know what you're doing, get some research, get some help, get some professionals, but you can't wait on it, because you might not be able to afford to get in where you need to get in, because there's all kinds of testing and stuff that goes on before. You've got to test your ad copy. You've got, see what your people are relating to, see if the leads that are coming in are even the people you're trying to attach. So there's a kind of a chunk of money in the beginning that you just know it's just going to go away. That's your testing money. You don't expect anything from it. So it's a whole process. It's not just, I'm going to pay $20 and boost this post. I didn't get any donations. It's not that simple.
Yep, she's right. Okay, number 5, Twitter is, back. For a while, people thought
this is shocking to me. I was a little bit. I was like, I think Twitter's dead.
Yeah, a lot of people were predicting the demise.
Thanks, Trump. It's like got everyone back on Twitter fighting with each other.
Something. It's probably it. All the other celebrities.
And that's like the most I've ever looked at Twitter, is like the the Twitter, which Twitter is great for that, the controversy.
And Twitter's also great for news. Like I always get my news on my Twitter feed, and I hear it hours before it's reported anywhere else in mainstream broadcasting. So Twitter is definitely a great tool. Again, a lot of B2B, but it's still real people. I mean, these are, even though they're businesses, and you might be saying, if they're not associated with a business, why am I even speaking with them? But,
well, you know what? Here's another interesting fact. So in our case, in our nonprofit, we were very fortunate to be able to be introduced with a bunch of celebrity and athletes. Their main social media platform is Twitter. So when we need them to share something, that's where it's going. So if we don't have a presence on Twitter to back that up where they can retweet us, it's just a huge loss. So all of our Twitter followings, which isn't great because it's not a platform that we have time to focus on. In fact, my IT guy is doing Twitter, which is great because that's the same type of person that's on Twitter. It's just that short, to the point, not fluffing it up type deal. So it works great for us. But don't overlook that platform because of that. So if you're partnering with celebrities, if you're partnering with
any influencers,
they're going to be on Twitter because that's just, especially for sports, it's men. There's a lot of men.
It does skew heavily towards men for sure. But it's just a great platform for cutting to the chase. Telling people what it is you want. You can use video. I mean, you can buy advertising on Twitter. So it's coming back. It's kind of had a little resurgence.
It lost itself for a minute and it's back at it.
It is.
And they did increase the tweets, however many, or characters. So I'm wondering if that maybe has a little bit to do with it.
It might be.
Women can finally fit their whole thought in a tweet because they made it.
Please don't send us any messages about that comment.
Don't tweet us. We won't check it. No, just kidding.
All right, number 6. Don't forget about Instagram. That could potentially be a great platform for you. Again, we want to just reemphasize the fact nobody expects you to manage all of these platforms. Right. If you have some volunteers, some trusted people on staff, some people that really know what to do, then by all means, just go crazy, go hog wild with all of the platforms. But if you don't, and you are limited with time and resources, narrow it down based on strategy. If you have a great story, which you all should have, and if you have access to great images or you can create great images, Instagram is your platform. It is the place where people like to look at all the pretty pictures. Right. The picture needs to tell the story. Actually, the photo does.
I think with Instagram, that is a great opportunity to find yourself a volunteer, because they can just give them free reign to your facility or, in our case, our property, and you're looking for someone with a good eye, check out their feed. If you like what you see, they can come and go as whenever they need to. You kind of give them, these are the hashtags I want you to use. And then also there's a whole strategy, which we can't cover in this podcast, about growing your Instagram feed using hashtags and the gainers give, like giving first type deal that takes a little bit of time each day to do. But if that's something that you're looking to grow, it would be very easy for a volunteer to do that for you. So it's just another way to be in front of your same audience on a different platform, just increase your awareness.
Yeah, it's so true. And, one of the smart things to do is to look at what other brands are doing, successful brands. And Melanie and I were talking about this statistic before we started recording this podcast. And honestly, from I think last March through the end of 2017, I think they said that I'm going to have to look because I want to get the numbers right. So 8 million businesses were on Instagram, either advertising or just organic posting. In March, by the end of this year, it bumped up to 17 million businesses.
Instagram.
So they know something.
I keep hearing, and even in the market that I'm in, Facebook has a lot going on, but it's had a lot of time in the sun. And right now, Instagram, especially leveraging direct messaging through Instagram, is where it's at. So even I have been super lazy on Instagram, and you know what I started doing last week? I started getting my Instagram feed going and being, putting some strategy behind it. And guess what? It's already working. So it's just priorities and leveraging where you're good.
Yeah, and I think that's a perfect segue into number 7. The number 7, prediction number 7, sorry about that, stumbling over my words, is that your board, if there's, have a really strong board that has a lot of voice in your organization, and or your CEO can no longer ignore digital marketing and social media. It's not a trend. It's not
going away, people.
It's not going away. It is the way that we will move forward in communicating with each other. And it's becoming more and more sophisticated. And so I'm honestly, I'm begging you. This is me begging. Please get engaged in it. Figure it out. Hire someone. Go out and see what your competitors are doing with their social and with their digital marketing. Put together something. Go back to your board. Go back to your CEO, and you've just got to get them engaged and going on this so that they have the same level of commitment that you are going to need to have. And it's hard because, right, you may still be doing all the traditional marketing that you've always done, and now we're just throwing one more thing into that big mix. But your dollars will go further. You can tell your story better, and you can measure it more effectively.
You can leverage it.
Yes, and that's huge. Those are all reasons why social and digital marketing is it. And so do your job, get them on board, and get going.
Yeah, and here's what we were talking about before the show when we weren't recording, is this isn't a fad. And I cannot reiterate enough, because I talk to small businesses about this. This is an industry shift, people. This is the TV coming in when all they had was radio. This is the internet coming in when all you had is TV. Like, what's going to happen to TV? Because right now you can pretty much, there's transitioning to almost get everything that you could get on your TV, and you can take your internet from your phone and project it to your TV.
Yeah.
And how expensive. And if you notice, none of the advertising costs in TV have gone down.
No.
So it would not be crazy for me to see the cost of advertising online on Facebook and everywhere else to get to the level TV was. Like, let's look 10 years down the road.
Yeah.
So there's just no excuses at this point.
No. We can't. I don't think there's any other words.
No.
we want you to understand, and hopefully you've tuned in because you either need to grow your own expertise or have a better understanding of what's going on in the digital world. But
we hope you're sitting there on the other side saying, girl, you're preaching to the choir. I just cut out that clip before just now and just show it to your board and say, listen, this is where we're at.
Yeah, really critical.
Yes.
Okay, let's get to number 8. Number 8, it's about retargeting. And
this is my favorite word, though. Because guess what? The money is all in the retargeting. The gold is in the retargeting.
It really is. So this is commonly what happens to our clients. We get them going, let's say, on a real good Facebook strategy. We're buying the ads for them. We've tested them. And then we, are directing people to a landing page where they can collect a name and an email and maybe some other information, which then we would hand to our clients. But everyone's so impatient. Like after 3 weeks, they're like, oh, we don't have already any leads, and this is terrible. And, what are we going to do? It's time. It takes time to nurture. You're nurturing someone. Getting them from point A to point B is not always overnight. It takes a little bit of time. And really, the goal is in the retargeting. You want to talk a little bit more about that?
It's so key. So here's the thing too, and I kind of mentioned it before, you can't just go out with an ask. You can't go out to a cold audience and say, donate to my cause, because it's important. Everyone's cause is important, and people on social media, number one, they didn't come there to get bombarded with an ad. First of all, an ad is always an interruption. Just know that, and you need to respect that when you're doing an ad. So if you're going to interrupt someone's connecting with their friends and their family and everything that's going on, it needs to show that you respect that. And that's why it's so important to we always talk about telling your story. So that first interaction is never ever going to be an ask if you're doing it correctly. It's going to be an awareness piece about why what you're doing matters, or even in your community, if you're doing what we would call a geo-targeted ad, meaning you're targeting a certain mile radius around you with maybe a couple interests. And again, we're getting into strategy now, so I don't want to go too deep, but you are going to use a piece that's going to resonate to that person so that you just kind of get on their radar and be like, oh, okay, I might have seen that somewhere else or something, but you're not asking them to do anything. You're not asked to get on my newsletter or anything. You want to get in front of them. And then, especially with video ads, what you can do is you can, based on however long they watch the video, you can make an audience of those and then turn around and stay in front of that person and stay in front of that person. The good news is that two things happen after that first level. Again, we talked about that first money that you're pushing out there. We're not expecting anything in return. That is lost money. Just settle with that, because it is. It is for everybody.
Yes.
The retargeting one, it's cheaper. Okay, because now you have weeded out all the people that don't give a dang. And second of all, it's another level of interest. So these people paid attention to you long enough that they were at least a little bit interested. So now you're spending money knowing that you're getting in front of or closer to that ideal donor or volunteer or fan or friend. So it just gets cheaper as it goes down. But you have to stay in that game. So what generally happens, and even small business do it, they throw, $500 or some crazy amount and they do an ad for whatever event that they're having. And they're like, Facebook advertising doesn't work. It didn't do anything, but it doesn't work like that.
It doesn't work like that.
None of this works like that. Yeah, it's not. All the money and all the gold is in the retargeting. And I can't tell you how many times I have heard, oh my gosh, the gold is in the retargeting. You got to stay in the game long enough to get in front of that right person, because it takes Facebook and the algorithm a little bit of time to figure out, is this a good match? Do they care? Are they going to click on this? Like, there's a lot going on.
Yeah, there is.
Good. That was a lot. I hope I didn't lose you guys. I know it's pretty deep.
No,
rewind and watch it again.
Yeah,
if you need to do a diagram.
Just know retargeting.
Yes.
Really, really important.
Key. Yeah. And if your ad person doesn't know what retargeting is or how to do it, go find another ad person, because you're just going to burn money.
You are. Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right. Number 9 in our digital projections, digital marketing projections for 2018 is video. That is all. That's not really all.
All right, we're done.
Yeah. That's not really all, but it kind of is all.
Yes.
It's everything right now.
Just get over it. You got to do it.
Yes. It's really, it gets easier as you do it. And you may say, well, I don't know what to videotape. Well, that's easy too. What are the questions that people ask you about your nonprofit?
We started there. We
Answer your questions.
We made a list of FAQs. I put it on a whiteboard and we're like, okay, that's a great video. Let's do that.
Yeah, easy.
Work down.
The wonderful stories of the people you serve if you are in a industry or a nonprofit vertical market where you can do that. Your staff, their stories, how they found their way to your organization, why it's important to them, why they're passionate about it. There's just story after story after story. And if you'll open yourself up to that, you can do that. You do not have to have professional equipment. I think we've talked about this. You can use your great smartphone. Most of them have, just do a great recording, and the pixels are high enough that everything looks good. You don't have to have professional lighting. We don't have professional lighting today, although some days we have had it.
One day. Just kidding.
One day have a lovely studio. Yeah, but there is a heart between us. For those of you who are watching this on video,
right there.
We like each other. It's a good thing. All right. So just not only remember that video is going to be really important, but you can also repurpose your video. You can use it in a lot of different ways. On the different social platforms Melanie was mentioning earlier, you can rip the audio away from the video part. So you just have the audio and use it as almost like a webinar, put a slide deck with it, or just even your own podcast if you wanted to do that.
Right. One of the things that I used to do when I was working in the small business realm is we would set a time, usually like a couple hour blocks. I would always take notes, and I still have a whiteboard today where I'm like, whatever video ideas, as I think of them, they go on the whiteboard. Then when we schedule that time even in just a 2-hour block, we would just go through that list, just record one after another, bang, 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 bang. The person I was working for was worried about changing clothes and everything. I don't even think that's an issue anymore. Like, she's like, should I put on a different shirt? I'm like, it doesn't matter. No one cares. Nobody cares.
I know. I care. Well, I want to change my shirt.
There might be, if you care, then there may be some people who care. But so we would do it that way. And then what we would do is we would take those videos. So in that case, they were, we tried to keep it under 3 minutes. The topic was really heavy. Okay. It was an attorney, and we were talking about estate planning. It's a heavy topic. We're not going to go on there for an hour. So it was just 3-minute little tips that we would give. And again, frequently asked questions and all that stuff. So we do the video. The first thing that I would do is I would pay. We have this online company that's like $1 a minute. I'll find the link and put it in here. They would rip the transcription off. We would put that transcription into the blog. So now we have a blog post. Okay.
Love it.
Then you can also take those, which we never got to this because they were 3 minutes, but you could also take little pieces out of that. And those are just little mini episodes you could do on Instagram because they won't let you put that long of a video, or you could break them down and use them just for little things on Facebook. But you can piece apart that content all different directions. And then, like she said, we could have also ripped those off and did some kind of podcast ripping off the audio or whatever. So you can take that 2 hours and then maximize it in so many different ways if you're organized and strategic about doing so.
Yep. So it's a great tool for us. All right. So that was not all, because we did talk a lot about video, but I think you see how near and dear it is to our hearts, because we know it's going to make a difference for you.
It's the future.
Yep. All right. Look, so I'm just going to go over the top 9 and then give you number 10, and then we'll wrap up. So number 1, YouTube will gain ground as a really viable source for lead generation. Now, did I say number 2 or was number 1? Number one, YouTube. Number 2, same goes with LinkedIn and LinkedIn advertising. Great way for lead gen, especially in the B2B market. Number 3, Facebook Watch. It's their TV tab that they'll be adding soon for businesses and just in general, pages, Facebook pages that will be coming up in 2018. Number 4, the cost to advertise digitally will increase. So get in while the getting's good and really learn this space. Number 5, Twitter is back, and it's a great platform for you to use. Number 6, don't forget about Instagram. Also, wonderful place to tell your story, to get volunteers, as Melanie has mentioned. It's a great platform for you. Number 7, work on your board and your CEO if they're dragging their feet when it comes to all of these things that we're talking about, because it's not going away. Number 8, it is about retargeting. That's where you're going to get the maximum result for the money that you're spending on your Facebook advertising and some of the other advertising. And number 9 is the videos. You've got to get videos and use them again and again and again, and just grow and learn. And you're going to learn when you dig in and just start doing it. And number 10 is my favorite one, because we're doing so many high-tech things. We need to humanize our nonprofit and our brand, where a lot of companies are straying from that. And it's really important that people know you're real, you're authentic, you're vulnerable, you make mistakes, you
don't have perfect lighting.
Yeah, you don't have perfect lighting. You're just a real authentic person that they want to know. I mean, it's someone you want to be friends. This is what all the engagement's about, is just being social. That's why they call it social media.
Right.
And I had someone explain to me once that social media is like going to a party.
Yes, this is the analogy I always use.
Yeah, it's like going to a party. When you walk into the room, you don't just go up and start, well, you shouldn't go up and just start talking about yourself. Right. Or your business. I mean, that's not, or hey, can I sell you real estate or insurance? I mean, that's just not what you do. When you go to a party, you're there to just like meet people and ask them questions and learn about their lives and engage with them. This is what social media is like. Then if there's a great connection and you can see that you can do business together, then you do business together. It's awesome. I love it. So just be sure that you're adding a human connection to everything that you do. And, people want to know more than the fact that you just want their money. I mean, they want to know that you have a soul. They want to know that you, not necessarily what you do, but why you do it. And I think if you can follow that and some of the other top 10 predictions that we've given you today, you're going to be great. You're going to be successful. Right. Do you have any bonus tips?
Kind of on that same line, just know, and we've seen it a lot in Facebook over the last year, is every time, you hear the word algorithm. And yes, all of this is technology. And no, there's not a human going in there hiding your posts or anything like that. But whenever there's a shift in technology, there's always that group of people that are going to try and outsmart it. And they always lose because it shifts again. So just don't be that person. If you're not getting engagement on any of these platforms, whichever one you choose to do, it's because your content isn't connecting with your audience. So don't try and figure out a way to beat the system. And in fact, one of the things that we were discussing before is the most recent thing. Facebook's actually penalizing you for what, I had to look it up to make sure I get it right, but they're calling it engagement bait. Whenever you use the wording that says like this or share this or tag someone in this, you are now getting hugely penalized for those types of posts, because the way Facebook is weighing content and the valuable content right now is based on engagement. So again, people are like, well, I'll just cheat it. And this is for personal feeds and your business feed as well. So for example, I just saw this last night in my personal feed, and it's someone that has an MLM and she's worried that her products aren't getting seen. And so she did one of these posts that says, Facebook just changed the algorithm again, and only a small percentage of people are seeing your post. Yeah. A small percentage of people are seeing your post because what you're posting is irrelevant. Mm-hmm. So now by her doing that, they are going to severely punish her engagement score, which affects everything. It affects your reach. It affects how much you pay for ads. It affects how many of your fans, if you're doing this from your nonprofit page, are seeing your posts. Like, it's huge, you guys. So don't get frustrated that people aren't seeing their things. I look at it whenever I come into a page that doesn't have a lot of engagement. I'm like, great, this is our starting point. Let's start tracking it. Let's try this post. Let's try that type of post. The biggest key I give people, especially in the beginning, go see what your competitors are doing. So for us, the nonprofit that I currently help a lot, they are doing, they're helping families and children. Families is great, but children's is more powerful. Yes. So I went out to all of the high level, like UNICEF. What are they doing how do they do their Instagram posts? How do they do their Facebook things? And what are the reactions that they have? And I started modeling that, because that is what resonates. They have the big dollars and the deep pockets to figure out what works when you're trying to target people that have a heart for children. So I'm going to utilize that. And as soon as we did, boom, we started picking up ground, because now we're connecting with the people that care about that. So don't try and trick the system. Put out good content, real stuff, and connect with people, and it will happen.
You know what I just realized when you were talking, Melanie, is that this is really going to hinder people who do a lot of giveaways.
Yes.
And contests to get more
They're
followers.
The first ones to go.
Because, you're saying, tag, like, share,
right.
You ask for a follow. Yeah, you're asking for a follow in order to get an entry into some kind of giveaway. So just use some caution and think about that if you use giveaways as any part of your strategy.
I wouldn't.
Yeah.
Don't do it.
Yeah.
Not worth it.
That's it. Hey, so we'll wrap this up now. This is episode 0004, the top 10 predictions with digital marketing in 2018. If you liked our show, and why wouldn't they?
Why wouldn't they? You heard it here first.
Yeah, please comment. Please engage with us.
Right.
Leave a review for us, and definitely subscribe to our station.
And we'd love to hear your thoughts too.
Yes.
Hey, if we didn't cover something that you're like, hey, I hear about this and this is up and coming, leave us a comment and let us know, and we'll go do some research and find out what the word on the street is, or the word on the internet is. So we'd love to hear.
And if you have, some either deeper questions, you want to know about what we do for nonprofits, just send us an email to meetme@thecausecafe.com. And until next time, we'll see ya. Bye.
All right. See you guys.